Kevin, bro, I just want to say at the very top of this, thank you. Thank you for this. You don't even know this. You have been a part of my life for so many years. Brother, I saw the film last night. I'm still emotional about it. It's just freaking thank you. As a hardcore fan, thank you for this.
That means the world, man. When we embark on these things, we embark on them for ourselves naturally, first and foremost. But there is always that thought in the back of your mind, like, what are they going to say? Everyone else, like, who's not me. And it's nice to get to a moment where somebody's like, relax. You can unclench your sphincter. You stuck the landing.
Hey, man, but I have to ask, what took so freaking long?
It took a minute, didn't it? I've been trying to make Clerks 3 since the end of Clerks 2. I loved making Clerks 2 so much. In the moment where they're in the jail scene and Randall kind of like exposes his heart, I was like, that's the movie I want to make. Like a movie that's all about Randall and his secret dreams. And he's not just like, what happens to the angry young man when he grows up and stuff? And you just can't throw around cynicism. What happens when you scrape a cynic and find hope underneath and stuff? So I wanted to get back there, and there are different iterations of it. There was a whole different script, which didn't even take place at Quick Stop, took place outside of a movie theater, where Randall, who'd had an emotional breakdown, had built a fake, like a bodega version of Quick Stop against a wall, and a village had risen up around it. It was the kind of thing where you'd go see that movie and be like, I think this guy never saw the first Clerks in the first place. So eventually, after the heart attack and the Jay and Silent Bob Reboot Roadshow tour, that's when I was like, oh, I know what I'm going to do. Like on Reboot Roadshow, I had such a blast, and I was like, if everyone loves this, a Jay and Silent Bob sequel, what would it be like if I took out a Clerks sequel for like a Roadshow tour? And then at that point, I was like, all right, so if I'm going to do Clerks, I should do it through the heart attack, because that was the most recent thing that happened to me. I can't bring the authenticity I brought to Clerks of like, I'm a guy who works at the retail level. I work in the very store where we made the movie. I don't work there anymore and stuff. And now I own stores as opposed to working at them. So I had to look for other authenticity to bring to the story, to bring to the tale. And the heart attack was the most drippingly authentic thing that I'd gone through in a while. So Randall gets to have my heart attack, and then Randall and Dante get to like make my movie the other authentic experience of my life. So what I lack in the like customers, right? Karens, motherfucker, I make up for in just like, hey, this actually happened and this actually happened too. And those are the two buoys that keep us kind of afloat throughout most of the tale.
Kevin, I got to also say, you look amazing. And I'm so glad you're doing okay and you're doing great. Don't scare us like that, brother. Seriously, don't scare us like that.
Let me tell you, that heart attack's the best thing that happened to me. Like, we got this movie out of it. Like, my wife was always talking about, like, why do you got to use the heart attack? She don't like watching that part of the movie. She's like, that was the worst day of my life. And I was like, something good have to come out of all this. And originally, like, I went vegan, dropped a bunch of weight, changed my health. That was good. But, like, it made me a better filmmaker. Like, that heart attack was such a gift because it gave me something to stick into Clerks 3, a living, breathing, stented heart that would make this movie work. Otherwise, I honestly feel that you would have felt like, oh, well, he gamely tried to go back, but you could never go home again. Because of the heart attack and because they make the movie, I think we did get to go home again.
How do you react when people say cult classic in regards to these films? Because, and actually all your films, but with Clerks, I go to comic conventions and I know you've been there. I see people dressed up like Jay and Silent Bob.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I see it and I smile and I'm like, dang, because you start thinking about the film. They're yours. The spark that created Clerks, and obviously everybody that's a part of it. But Kevin, what do you think when people call these cult classics?
I'm usually the one doing it first. I'm usually the one going, cult classic Clerks, everybody. Like, I remember when they told me early on, like, we were a midnight movie. Obviously we weren't going for that. I was just trying to make a film. But the movie became a midnight movie, like halfway through its original theatrical run. And at that point, like, then they start bandying about cult film. And that made me happy because, like, there's a lot of cult films I like. Classic didn't kick in for like 10 years. And then when they started saying it, I was like, yeah, lean into that, everybody. Classic, cult classic. Because that means you got one, right? Like, it makes me happy. It never makes me scared. It means that, like, no matter what, means that I can make dog shit movies from now until the end of time that everyone hates, but I got one. Like, you know, you can't take away the one that I got. And that one, even the government acknowledged it. Library of Congress put us on the National Film Registry. So even there, they're like, all right, you got one. So it gives you this sense of safety, like I've reached home base. In a game of tag where you're just desperate to be safe, having one, having a cult classic, gave me the safety to have the rest of my career. And now some would argue that, like, well, clearly because of what happened with Clerks, he never felt the need to mature or get better as a filmmaker. And I would say yes and no. I feel like, you know, there's definite growth between the first movie and fucking this movie. If you don't see that, you're just being willfully ignorant or something. But it's never so much about that. It was never about me going like, I'm going to be the best at my craft as possible. Most people get into my business and dream about winning an Oscar. And I never had that. I just wanted to like do that and then do it again and then do it again. I just wanted to replicate. Like all of these movies are me trying to replicate this very precious 5-year period of my life before Clerks ever happened, before I had the idea to make a movie. That like, even then I knew this is great. If life could be like this forever, I would live this life. I was not one of those people that was like, I gotta get out of this one-horse town shit. I was happy to be in that place. But because I kind of essayed the story, it did kind of take me out into the world, ironically enough. But I love when they say cult classic. I absolutely, I love that. Especially because it says that you've got age on your side. It means that I've been here for a damn minute. And, you know, I live online, and so I deal with, or don't get dealt with by film Twitter very often and stuff like that. And, you know, there's a whole generation of kids who are like, he's a fucking joke. He's no real filmmaker, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, I got cult classics in my corners, kids. Like, you know, whether or not you like my shit, you have to agree that, like, he has been doing it for 30 years. God knows how. And sometimes having a long tail will carry you. Like, particularly when people are like, boo, and fuck your shit. Which happens across a career many times if you're me.
Dude, haters gonna hate is what I say. Before they kick me out of here, just real quick, do we get another one? Please.
Hell yeah. As long as there's breath in my lungs, there's an opportunity to make a Clerks movie, man. So somebody suggested online, they're like, just skip Clerks 4 and go to Clerks 19. And I was like, it's a good idea. So next up might be Clerks 19. Just have people go like, wait, what happened? It's like, oh, a whole bunch and you missed it.
You're so badass. I feel like I won a contest to get to talk to you today. Brother, thank you again for everything.
Sweet are you?
Thank you for this chat. You're amazing, bro.
Thank you.
Let's do it in person.
Such
Next
a pleasure.
time in person.
Done and done. I would love to.